Hi Leo, welcome to your High Priestess reading for 2020. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below, as well as the recommend a reader shout out, Temperance, which goes to the Jezebel Way Tarot. Hold on a minute here, pardon me. Love and support to her. Check her out and show her some love. This is intended to be a romantic love reading, but it may resonate in other areas of your life. Because it is kind of a overview of the year, or intuitively what's going to be taking place for you, your connection to your intuition. In this case, there have been two readings that I was kind of frustrated with, and then I thought maybe also you might have been frustrated with, because they both were kind of the same thing. And this Temperance, I left this out so it just jumped, obviously you saw it, but this is apropos because here's the thing. You have a connection with this person, and over the course of the year, you're going to realize that it's more about you pulling back and letting them do for themselves rather than you doing for them. But you wrestle with that, and there's frustration with that because, and you're going to be going back and forth with them because the connection. You've got people pulling at you from all sides this year. For the Leos I'm reading for, you're going to be busy with family, social. You kind of neglected a certain area of your life to attend to this one situation that's pretty demanding. And while you have this intuitively, you know that it will be worth it. I think you're waiting for this person to kind of rise up to the challenge, but what you don't realize is that they kind of stop doing the work when you two separate, and you're in connection and in separation, in connection and in separation with this person. And when you stop helping them, or when you're not taking the reins and telling them what to do and how to do, they kind of sit with their arms folded and the work stops. They need guidance and help, and right now you've been doing it for them, but it's taking a lot out of you because it's to the neglect of other areas of your life. So you right now, for the last two readings showed you two being in separation, and you were thinking that they were working on dealing with something pretty big in their lives, and only they weren't. As soon as you two weren't in separation, this person was just doing status quo, what they always did. But I think it also showed coming back together to stave off any kind of disappointment or sadness or disconnect you felt, because it was like, okay, this is getting too long, I miss my person. And yet there hadn't been really any progress, that you two just missed each other a lot. And it's frustrating because you both feel like it's worth it. There's a connection here. Honestly, this is there's a lot of chemistry here. There's a big connection, but intuitively you feel like over time this will out. For this year, you're still pretty optimistic, if not disappointed right now, because you're just like, it's taking its toll. I got to pull back. I got to deal with this part of my life. But what you don't realize, though, is that you're kind of in charge of this person's progress or whatever they're needing to get through. Because when you pull away to go tend to other areas of your life or to do whatever else needs to be done, pardon me, they stop working on the thing. Whatever it is, they stop the progress. They go back to how they've always been without your intervention or your direction. So just consider that. Okay. All right. Hi, Leo. Hello. Hello. All right, what's your intuition for Leo? What's your intuition saying here? What's your relationship with your intuition? There's that love, self-love. There it is. Knight of Wands. That could be Leo. Leo loving themselves. I like it. 10 of Wands. Okay. 9 of Wands. Page of Wands. Why not? King of Wands. Where's the Queen of Wands? There we are. We got the whole family here. King of Wands, Queen of Wands, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. Wow. 8 of Wands. Why not? I swear I shuffled these. You saw me shuffle them. Okay. All right. Oh, okay, 10, 9, 8, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, and then we got the Wands family here. So, all right. What's this 10 of Wands about? This 10 of Wands. You are needing a break, that's for sure. The Tower. It's this 9 of Wands. The Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. That could be Taurus. This could be Scorpio. Also, my voice is kind of going in and out, and I have my lozenges at the ready and my water at the ready, so might need to, well, I got them unwrapped so they don't make noise, but okay, all right. Just FYI. What's this Page of Wands here? Temperance, so that could be Sagittarius. Oh, I believe I'm a little crooked here. Why am I crooked? That's odd. I don't want to be crooked. Okay, is that better? That is not better. That's, what is going on here? No, that's not better. Now I'm distracted. Oh boy. All right. All right, I'm leaving it. What's this King of Wands? That's Sagittarius. Can't remember if I said that. What's this King of Wands about? This is Sagittarius also. Sagittarius. All right, what's this Queen of Wands? This Queen of Wands. This feels like, okay, so the Leos that I'm reading for, this is a family system we're dealing with here. There's, this is a partnership or someone that you've been, there's either the potential for a family unit or you're dealing with a family unit. This is someone you see in that capacity. This is you realizing, I mean, I already kind of gave that, the 2 reading intro. This is you realizing that it's a lot of dang work right now, and you're probably going, it's this 8 of Wands. It's this 8 of Wands. Oh, damn it. All right, so more of the same, right? This is you, oh, you can see that. Got the devil there. This is you needing to pull back and take some time for yourself. The thing is, what you don't realize about your person is that this is a big overhaul for them, and without your involvement or direction, it's very much baby steps for them. And instead of using the time to get through something to kind of just coast, they're not interested in outside help. They're interested from you help. They want you involved every step of the way with them. And this is someone that's just, they're kind of set in their ways. And so they're very reluctant to make any changes on their own because they don't really, either they don't see the need for change. They don't know what to change. They don't know how to change. They don't know what they're doing. God forbid they don't know what's on the other side. What's it going to look like when I am changed? Why am I changing? What am I changing for? And so we've got you needing to pull back and attend to other areas of your life and get things off the ground. It also is very dependent on you for this person to be doing the work. Like they depend on you for the direction and the guidance. A lot of people depend on you. It's too much. You, Leo, for the Leos I'm reading for, you need to take stock of where your energy is going, because very quickly, very soon, it's going to be too much for you, and you're going to need to pull back. Something, either the realization is going to come over you, or something may happen that'll just be like, you know what, I have to pull back. I can't keep doing the way I've been doing. And the thing is, I think you do it because nobody else will, because you're looking around you going, everybody else kind of either needs of me or is set in their ways. Nobody else will do it. So it's on the one hand, you enjoy doing it because it's for people you care about. It's things you care about. It's projects you care about. You're very connected, but at the same time, you're the only one kind of doing and calling the shots, and it's starting to take its toll here. Perhaps you just realized that, or perhaps there's been a few events that have made you forcibly take a break, like maybe you sprained your ankle or something, or you just realize that, hey, I'm the only one that really cares about this, that, and the other, and if I'm the only one that cares, if the cost is greater than the payoff, like I'm exhausted and nobody else really cares, then what am I doing it for? So this is in terms of your partner and who you're connecting with. They need you more than they should. It really should be them spearheading their own change and transformation and awareness, but they're quite reliant on you, and you need to make some decisions based on that. And I'm not telling you anything you haven't realized already intuitively. This is, you're probably formulating plans because you're like, I can't keep doing this. While I care about my people and everybody, something's got to give here for me because I'm pulled in all different directions. And a few of you could be doing more for yourselves instead of me having to do everything. And your person, I think this is you having realized that, and you're pulling back. You're making strategic choices about what is next for you and getting your own show on the road throughout the progress of the year, or as the year progresses. This is you being more and more back in the driver's seat of your life and leaving everybody else kind of to their own devices to solve their own problems, to fix their own issues. Because it's honestly a much needed break. And I for your person, it's kind of like, because it's hard. It's scary. It's difficult. But it also is very simple. It's very simple what needs to be done, but the fear surrounding doing that is pretty intense. You can't do it for them, though. That's what I think you're realizing intuitively. I think you're realizing that you cannot be what you've been for pretty much everybody. It's simply too much. It's taking too much from you. And so, getting a lozenge. I don't know if I told you about my voice, whatever. It's going in and out, so I got lozenges and water at the ready. This could be Capricorn right here. We got 8 of Wands and the Devil. We got the King of Wands and Death. So we've got someone needing to be in charge of, their own transformation, their own change, putting things into perspective for themselves, and needing to see things for what it is, and needing to take a good hard look at. I mean, it's almost like it's time. Also, there's an awareness on your part that needs to be had about. So it's almost like their issues have been a distraction for you, and you need to take a look at yourself also, and realize that you just can't simply do everything for everybody. You can't be, for the Leos that I'm reading for, you are pulled in all directions, and there's a lot on your shoulders this year, and you need to minimize and strategize lest it take its toll on you. I think you need to realize that people kind of like the people that you're dealing with. There may be a propensity to leave it for you to handle for them because you do it best, and they don't want to, they're scared, whatever, but there's a real reliance on you, and if you're not in charge of it, they don't do it, which is kind of petty and passive aggressive. Getting some water. Consider that this is also a pattern for you, that this is kind of your way of doing and showing love for others, or that you constantly are finding yourself in these situations where you're being drawn from, and you're being kind of exhausted in the process, and you're not getting much return. That this is also a pattern for you because you're not advocating for yourself. You're not putting yourself first. You feel like, oh, I should do that because I love these people, or I love them, or I should be. No, you shouldn't. No, you should be taking care of yourself, because you're no good to anybody if you're, at half capacity. No good to yourself, no good to anybody else if you're at half capacity. So there's a couple of things here. This is about you being aware of how reliant other people are on you, but also your propensity to immediately step up and do for them to the detriment of yourself. So as you move throughout the year, just be aware of that it might be wise to set up boundaries and to ask more of those around you rather than doing everything for them. this isn't so much about that one person. I mean, it is, but it's not only about them. This is kind of showing a system here of you being pulled in all directions, and setting up some boundaries would really help, not deplete things for you. Because there's, I mean, I'm a little worried about that. It's like it's going to come to a head and you're just going to be like, I need 2 weeks away from everybody. Or just, you know, you could end up just... Life is hard when you don't get rest. Honestly, when you... I mean, I know that sounds very simplistic, but when it's just never ending, miles and miles to go before I get to sleep, or whatever the saying is, that's just... Everything gets really dim and dismal. And part of this is voluntary, part of it's not. Part of it is, well, part of it's voluntary, part of it's not. The part that's not, or part that is voluntary, you need to re-strategize and re-figure out a way to put yourself first and to get yourself back online, up and running after some rest here. Because those around you could be doing more. And you could be doing less and more for yourself. You're vital, but there are people around you in general, not just this relationship, this significant other, but you're being depleted. Part of it is you signing up for that because maybe that's all you know. You are someone who gets it done and resolves and handles it, but there's some wiggle room there where you could start saying no, where you could start setting boundaries. And putting yourself first for your well-being first. And the beauty of that is that there's a way to do it. It's not like you're going to be letting someone down and this is you finding solutions and sticking to them. But it's not that you have to cut things off and that things have to be, it doesn't have to be that hard and fast. This is about you finding a way to do things differently, with better results or the same results, but it meets your needs as well. This is not about you just kind of being a martyr and continuing to do things the way you've always done, and you get worn out and everything else stays the same, status quo. This is the year of you listening to your intuition, setting up boundaries and doing things differently with you in mind, because you have to at some point. This can't go on. This can't go on. No. What else for Leo? Oopsie, what else for Leo? It's tough because it's like you like being needed. You like doing for those that you love. You take great pride in your work. All good things. But I think your people have gotten used to asking too much of you. And you were able to do it. You can't. Look at this. Ugh, too much. It's going to come to a head. 8, 9, 10. We're coming to a head here. Something's going to give. That's for Leo. This is just you setting boundaries and working smarter, not harder, right? Strength. Okay, that could be Leo. Hi. That's for Leo. The moon. Why? What are you afraid of? Pisces or Cancerian. What are you afraid of if you take a break? What are you afraid of if you pull back and let others do for... What's this moon card about? What are you afraid of? Because we got your issues showing up here too. You needing to do for others as a distraction from your own issues, or as you we're scared of well, it's always been done this way. What if we change things? What does that do? Or what does that mean? It upsets the apple cart. Because right now, everything kind of stops unless you intervene and take charge. What's this moon card about? New beginning, risking, interesting, doing things differently, letting go. House for Leo. A magician. Gemini, this could be Pisces or Cancerian, Leo, Gemini, Virgo, or Aries, Gemini, Virgo, or Aries. So, I think this is you being afraid of change. And that's why everything kind of stagnates if you're not managing it or in charge of it. And you're very good at doing that, but it's wearing you, the HE double hockey sticks, out to the point where you're afraid to kind of let go and see what happens if you pull back, you're afraid of like, well, then how's it going to work if I'm not involved, if I'm not in charge of it? This is you needing to pull back and set boundaries for yourself and take the time, the much needed time, and letting go and letting what it's going to be or be what it's going to be. This is almost like someone that's kind of overly domineering or controlling. Not saying that you are, but because they don't want to accept that things aren't really the way they want them to be unless they're doing them. Like if they just let someone, if they let someone take over this duty, like making dinner or something, oh my gosh, they're a horrible cook, and it's like, I'd rather just do it myself because they're horrible. Well, maybe it's worth eating horrible food so you can get some sleep or rest, or that you can leave work, an hour early. I mean, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's a trade-off. Maybe you can have not so good food in exchange for peace of mind, not being so run ragged, because this is kind of exhaustion, but at the same time you've got this pattern of not wanting to let go because you're afraid of things changing yourself. So this could be a relationship you're continuing and staying in and managing and over-managing and overdoing to the point of your own detriment, because you're afraid that if you stop doing that, things are just going to stay the same and that eventually you'll have to let go. But there's solutions to be had. This right here shows that first and foremost, you need to pull back and listen to your intuition, put yourself first. Take some much needed time to kind of think about things, get some perspective through the course of the year. Put yourself first, and that there is hope that with you re-strategizing and setting boundaries and putting yourself first and what works for you, and in a way it's still kind of overhauling because you're still like, okay, well, this is how we're going to do things differently. Because I'm talking about people that are connected here. I'm not talking about you in separation. I'm talking about you wanting to do and be different in a system that is up and running but is kind of starting to take its toll on you. So you don't want to abandon it, but you do want to work smarter, not harder. And it shows you coming up with solutions and being more strategic and coming up with ways that it works. But there's a real fear about letting go and doing that, or doing things differently. Okay, all right. But it does show that this is, there's hope, and it's baby steps, and it's about you. You've got to, because it's simply too much. It's simply too many people and too many things relying on you. They'll step up. You can't see it now, but they'll step up. It's just, I think you're afraid that they won't, but they will. But you've got to stick to the boundaries that you set up too. That's another thing. The first sign of stress, the Leos I'm reading for, run in there and you fix everything and everyone. But then you're exhausted and you haven't slept for a week, That's for Leo. Here's that 8 of Wands again. 8 of Wands, 8 of Wands. What this feels like is that something's going to happen very suddenly that is just going to be like, that's it. Things have to change. From now on, like it feels like it's going to be like, no more. Like we got the 8 of Wands, we got the Tower here, and we got the 10 of Wands. This is like you having to, and you've probably been struggling with setting the boundaries, knowing that this is what needs to be done, but because you don't want to let your people down, there's got to be a middle area though. There's got to be room for you in this also. You can't just be taking care of everybody else and you're not taking care of this. You got to set some systems of self-care up. That's your order for the year. Being strategic and setting up systems, not goals, but setting up systems for maintenance and to where you're not in charge of everything. That other people have autonomy and efficacy in the family routine or in the relationship, like letting other people do for themselves a little bit and you not being in charge of everything and having a hand on everything and people relying on you for everything. This is a good example of setting a system of maintenance in place rather than setting a goal, because there's simply too much here that would keep you from meeting goals. You too many things are going on to where you wouldn't be able to do the thing. but putting systems in place for daily maintenance to where they make room for you to pursue a goal. That's good. Okay. All right. Oh my Lord. 25 minutes. Okay. House 4. Whoopsie. Hello. Okay. Enchantment. That was going to jump, so there you go. Miracles. Good gracious. All right. Miracles. Can you see that still if I do that? Okay. How about this? Not really. Not really. Miracles and enchantment. Okay. In light of this reading, it feels like there's the potential for this, like for a miracle to happen, but you kind of have to be in charge of it, which kind of depletes the whole out of the blue suddenness of it. But perhaps you're waiting for a miracle. And the thing is, it's possible, but it feels like you're gonna if you're wanting to keep everything the same and waiting for a miracle to happen out of the blue, it's not going to change. This is about you setting up boundaries and systems for management, like changing the game a little bit, being smart, strategizing, taking some time out for yourself, and things changing. I'm surprised the star didn't show up here. Things miraculously changing over time. This would be like the star card. This is not going to happen until you reprioritize your involvement in everybody else's lives. You need to think about how to do this differently. We got the 5 of Swords, the Magician, and the Queen of Wands here. It's almost like you have to make the miracle happen. Because right now you might be waiting for a miracle and it's not going to happen in the way that you think. In the long term, in hindsight, you're like, well, I guess if that didn't happen, it wouldn't have forced me to rest. I don't even want to finish that sentence. This enchantment, I don't know what this means. That jumped. So I hope that this means I don't know what that would mean. I don't think that you're so enchanted with all of this. I think you're worn out. I think you need a break. And I think that you think that this relationship is worth it, and it might very well be because it makes you feel a certain kind of way and you're special and there's that connection. Very well could be true, but you also need to take a break. And this is a pattern of yours to over-involve yourself or control or to help or to whatever, and it's got to stop. There's simply not enough of you to go around. So for this year, your assignment is finding new ways to be in a relationship without you controlling it or managing it or doing everything for everybody as a sign of your worth and your deserving to be in it, or fearing that it won't get done the right way. It might not. But at least you'll sleep at night. You know what I mean? Easier said than done, I know. Especially when you got kids and family and work. That's for you. You got to do things differently, though. This isn't working anymore. It's too much. That's for you. Queen, I hate it when it's like that because I always turn it clockwise. Queen of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, overworked and tired. And the Page of, yes, this is you not having work-life balance at all and being given very little and being able to give very little because you're pulled in all these different directions. This is you needing to reprioritize, put yourself first, and take care of you also. This is you finding a way to take care of your obligations and also taking care of you as well. Doesn't have to be the exclusion of everything, like you just go rogue and nobody hears from you again. It's not like that. But you've got to do what you've been doing differently because it's not working. For the Leos I'm reading for, you're exhausted and it's to the detriment of every relationship you have. It's going to be. It's going to take its toll. So this is about you finding ways to put yourself first and to be in a relationship without you having to control every part of it and spoiler alert, you're going to be let down. But you're also going to be thrilled and enchanted. There's going to be balance. Okay. Oh my God, 30 minutes. I've been talking a long time. I guess my voice is holding up. Thank you for stopping by. You keep your head up and don't you beat yourself up and feel down about things. This is it, the whole world doesn't have to rest on your shoulders. Honestly, you can do things differently here. This is not do or die. This is just you needing to show your love and all that differently. You don't need to do everything for everybody. There's got to be room for you here also. You need to carve that out. All right. You give yourself a break, please. Get some sleep. Okay. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Much love and support to you this year, and some rest. Okay. Okay, you take care.